into the present moment. Make sure you're feeling all parts of you, all the way down to the soles of your feet, the palms of your hands, all the way down the front of your torso and the back, top of your head. All right. Find that nice, straight, central, vertical power current. We ask and allow by spiritual law and our oversouls to call in Padmasambhava to help ground, center, balance, and align our dimensions, central axis, and all of our inner spiritual realities. Grounding, centering, balancing, and aligning. About 3 hours before we started, my guides came in and literally jolted me into a altered reality, altered state of reality. This is how I know this is going to be uh, deeply purifying. Grounding, centering, balancing, and aligning. Holding a loving gratitude in the heart center. We ask that Padma transition us over to Yeshi Shogol to oversee our magnetic grids and life force. Connecting us into the magnetic grids in a way that's just right for us today, individually and collectively as a group. Let's breathe a little bit more through our left side. Right, get the left and right channels a little more balanced. Take your time. We're in training ourselves to a more prime alignment, more presence. We now ask to be rotated over to the Master of the Covenants to oversee the evolutionary energies in our field and align them with the greater energy and structure that we share together. And if there are any blueprint upgrades, we can activate those now. We now transition over to the dove to preserve the individual integrity of our energy fields and balance and harmonize between one another in a deeply alchemical way. We can manage a very cohesive field together. Great, thank you. Harmonizing our fields as a cohesive group. We ask that the dove rotate us over to the Bedouin to oversee the earth and the land of us and adjust our physical body to balance our elements, metals, minerals, and ores. All right, so allow your elements to balance: earth, getting a little more grounded; water, bringing water into balance; air, and fire. You can really see how last week's session really carried forward for everyone. This is great. We're advancing. There we go. We do want to take our time here because this is where we really start to open up our channels, clear any stagnation, and start to really let go of any blockages, open up any blockages. And we've got the support of Padma, Yeshi, the Masters of the Covenant, the Dove, the Bedouin, and now to purify our ego structures and biophysiologic imprints. And just allow, like a letting go. Relax your minds. And if you're starting to feel a little unsettled, may just be something coming to the surface. Take a deep, slow, controlled breath up your central vertical power current, your heart line, and a slightly slower exhale, dropping all the way back down, grounding a little deeper. Great. We now transition over to the masters of the universe to deeply and exquisitely align and purify our fields, synchronizing all of our systems in a way that supports a complete and total cohesive reality. Moving things over, slowing things down. Nice alchemical connection, nice smooth rotations. Great. Good job, everyone. We call in the Master Diva of Slovenia and the Julian Alps. We call in the High Council of Druids and my highest magical entourage. And this is already a major shift in our baseline, you know, normalized state of reality. So let's take a moment to adjust tensions that arise, acknowledge, validate, breathe through them. Relax a little deeper. Relax your throat a little bit more. Relax your jaw. Some of you that have your chins very high, bring your chin down. Try to feel that nice straight current. We are starting at a town in Slovenia called Kranjska Gora, which is it's a small village that's nearest to the path into the Julian Alps. I'll describe this little village. It's a small town. It's surrounded by jagged peaks of the Alps on three sides, sort of like walls of the amphitheater. It has alpine style buildings featuring steeply pitched roofs. There are lush fields of beautiful wildflowers, and it borders a majestic turquoise glacial lake named Jansa. Jansa. Is its name. Drifting into the energetics in Kranjska Gora. The air is crisp and revitalizing. Consensus reality here is clean and pure. So just arriving at the base of the Julian Alps in this little town is already freeing and purifying. The elements feel sensationally enhanced and interact with the senses in a way that increases your felt sense of being alive, full of life. Some of you worry less about feeling the energetics and just allow, just be present. Some of you are trying a little too hard. Just let be. See, now things move more freely. Yeah, the energy here is beautiful. Very clean, very pure. When everyone has the feeling uh, and or the visuals and are ready to journey into the mountains, let me know with a slight nod to your head. And let us begin. I know this is already very, very powerful. Orchestrating it in a very smooth and stable way, holding a very clean and pure consensus reality in our group. But just allow, enjoy, be present. This journey feels effortless as we have the element of wind behind us, propelling us forward as we ascend, as if it's alive with conscious awareness, knowing exactly where we're going and joining us on the adventure. Ah, time seems to bend endlessly and effortlessly, as if many moments are in a single moment, and a single moment is many moments all at once. We pass several sacred sites where ancient mystics stepped foot in their journey to these powerful energy spots. This is very sacred ground. At this point, there's almost a sense of awe and reverence as we follow in the footsteps of the ancient ones, advancing further on our way up. Take a moment here, catching our breath, nearing our destination. We stop to ask permission with a deep yet playful, loving gratitude to enter the cave where the deep magic dragons reside.
I sense a little timidness or nervousness. And just take a breath and relax. We are right where we're supposed to be. I will now rotate into my dragon form and step forward to announce our presence and request an audience. And no surprise, they are aware of us and have anticipated our arrival. They feel each of our individual energetic signatures and have prepared a communion for us. These are highly evolved beings. They're fully integrated and they understand the pitfalls of human existence. Their hearts are wide open and carry a tremendous amount of wisdom, love, and power to create, purify, and dismantle reality where reality leads to dead ends. It's an honor to be in their presence. They live in a far more non-dual reality than we do, yet they have pure selfless compassion for our existence. Dragons have the ability to purify and liberate souls bound in darkness and trauma. And we've all been there. To purify and liberate lands and domains and even complete magical lineages, going back to when these lineages separated out and manifested into reality. And what they're saying is they want to share with us the magic of our hearts. Ooh, some of us had a little bit of reaction in the heart centers. Settle and breathe and just relax. This is a special gift that dragons and humans have in common. Through the heart center, consciousness descends into form in four stages. When one or more of these chambers are blocked, we create conflict rather than fusion. We pull downward and orient ourselves towards survival, control, pleasure, rather than upwards towards transcendence, liberation, and disillusion. We now have permission. Step forward with me, enter the cave. We're in the presence of three powerful dragons. Their presence and their loving compassion is overwhelming, brings tears to the eyes. As though it's like expanding us from the heart center outward in all directions. They're offering to us something very special. They're offering to us their blood as sort of an energetic intravenous drip down our spines into our pulmonary and systemic circuits. This, they are explaining, will support the purification of our bodies, our blood, and the four heart chambers. Receiving now. Allow this to enter through your spine, coming in through the magnetic grid soul seat in the back. Purifying our blood, moving through all systems. May slowly start feeling this moving through your blood system, your bloodstream. We'll sit here and receive for just a few moments before we continue. And just take some deep breaths to facilitate the process. Once I see things stabilize, as we then are able to drop in another octave or two, I will begin to transmit to you the knowledge of these four chambers of the heart during this continued purification process. Now beginning to drop in a little deeper. Our bodies are assimilating these frequencies. Nervous system is relaxing. Group energy field is smoothing out. The first chamber of the heart on the right is where we identify our capacity to receive. It is our localized will center. Self-image, self-worth reside in this center. In this chamber, love is a force with presence as substance. When this center is locked, there is a sense that the world is fundamentally unsafe. We lose our full capacity to receive, to need less, and expect less, making ourselves small and physically contract in this area. Allow these frequencies into this chamber to expand, purify, and nourish front right chamber. The power that comes from this chamber is will. The expansion here will give us the capacity to receive without the filter of what we wish it were. We let go of our demands, right? We accept what is. This settles into being more present, perceiving reality more clearly. Take time in this chamber to receive. When I see that it's sufficiently open and full, we will continue. Maybe you sense how it's affecting the neurological pathways in your brain. Take a nice deep breath. Slowly exhale. The second chamber on the left governs our ability to give. What sits here is the power of intellect to perceive truth without the mediating filter of conceptual thought. Clairvoyance or direct knowing develops here when this chamber is clear and strong. when this area is blocked, it's really, you know, like a particular kind of suffering, because giving becomes strategic and conditional. We give and we feel drained. We love and, you know, watch to see if it's valued and, you know, to our standard, like valued appropriately. And then so this creates blockages with resentment. When we let go of control in this chamber, our energy flows where it needs to go naturally. And we trust that it won't diminish us as sort of like the underlying fear, like that we will experience a lack. We develop then compassion in this area of the heart. And it's really for, you know, all forms of consciousness, all forms of beings going through the experience of forgetting and relearning self-love and truth. Allowing this intravenous drip and purifying dragon blood to fill and expand the center of the heart. Some of you may sense there's some tension, some contraction. See vibrations increasing, it's getting more powerful. Heart chamber on the right is starting to relax and open a little bit deeper. But some of you are still holding a little tight. I would suggest perhaps allowing it to soften and open up to the boundaries of the container that we're in and include each other. Oh, so much better, less restricted. Good job. You see how we do that. That's how we sort of diminish ourselves, holding down, holding tight. maybe as you're acclimating to these frequencies, some high sense perception, maybe you're receiving some information on these dragons that we're with, maybe their size or age or color or slight variations in frequencies. But collectively, they're creating this purification process for us in perfect harmony. This is sort of like another layer of the gift that we can receive and understand. We have that same capacity to work together in unity, in cohesion as a group. The third chamber, lower and towards the center, is where spirit becomes the animating force of purification. This is where the emotional like residue builds up, like rage and shame and grief, right? Sort of builds up, and it's either we metabolize it here or it sort of accumulates like sediment. And so then blocks this center from its full function, right? That density impairs the full function of this center. And this is how we get stuck in emotional states, right? That seem to, you know, not so easily just move through us. Ah, feel the expansion there. Oh, may feel a little heavier to breathe through. Will soften and lighten. When purifying this chamber of the heart, right, we move from giving and receiving to full realization of non-dual consciousness and unity, right, where there is truth and order and balance, cosmic balance. Like so without, also within, right? We align to all and everything. And but the process, it really is like a fire, right? And it could feel like crisis too, because what do we do when we're stuck in emotional states? Our perception gets filtered. The choices that we make aren't in full sovereignty, right? And so what that effect has is, maybe relationships end, or um, or a career ends, or whatever it is that we've been engaged in life, um, that was bound to those looping emotional patterns, right? So we get freed from those looping unconscious patterns driven from that buildup. Ah, Breathing a little bit more, dropping in a little deeper. So when healed, emotions start becoming signals, right? Rather than permanent states. Oof, a little bit of clearing. Ah, oh. This is a very powerful place, powerful aspect of ourselves to, really own. When this chamber is purified, our emotional range expands to its full capacity, right? So we gain the full spectrum without needing to suppress or control, right? And we develop what is referred to as heart coherence, where the heart rate and our total energy field takes on full sovereignty, takes on order, smooth order, smooth coherence. Finding our way there. And when this happens, we become more resilient to stress. We become calm and clear through all experiences, even ones that would knock us off center in a second. Really standing in our power here. Our immune system strengthens, and spirit moves freely through us. Take a moment to tune into your blood. See the change. Feel it. Feel how it's upgrading and coming more online with more ability to purify, to regenerate and rejuvenate. It's almost becoming like bubbly and sparkly like champagne. Let us continue. Now, the fourth chamber, upper and central. This opens when we realize our true potential. When we live and breathe with a deep inner knowing that what we are cannot be damaged by what happens in the body, to the body, circumstances, or story. Emotion becomes a direct translation into feeling as an indestructible force of our own creative power, fully transparent, total resilience. When we look at masters of any deeply, deep spiritual lineage, this is where they sit. It's palpable. You can sense it when you know what to look for. It's right there. You can't fake this. It's a state of being, a presence. Feel your energy fields now. Feel the power. And not just the power, but how smooth and elegant it is. How, profoundly powerful the harmonics are. How smooth the alchemy is as we get deeper and deeper into heart coherence within a unified field with each other. You can tune into that sense of one another. It's like it went beyond just, another like-minded individual in the group, and even beyond family or friends. There's this sense of, like an eternal bond, an eternal unity. So we'll remain here for just a moment or two as we drop in another octave. Bless you all. This is what's happening. Dropping even further. Oh, there's a sense of being reshaped, reformed, reorganized. And in fact, we are. Allow our energy bodies to adjust. Some shifts may feel big, others may feel small. Just breathe and relax and enjoy the process. This is a deeply expanding, loving practice. And when I see things smooth out and they're still really dramatically moving and shifting, then we will continue. Wow. Interesting is it, and perhaps those of you in the group can sense this. It's like the heart has activated more fully and is now starting to emanate outward in all directions. And it has sort of like a pulse and a rhythm to it. And we have permission to continue now. When all four chambers of the heart are open, when will, spirit, intellect, and emotion are functioning as one integrated instrument, a fifth aspect awakens. This is your heart of hearts. This is the heart of the dragon. This is sacred. It awakens in you pure presence. And what also awakens is our capacity to change reality through this vibrational coherence of the heart center. Everyone and everything around us responds. This is the power of dragon magic. Water forms different crystalline structures in its coherence. Plants grow differently, maybe in spirals sometimes. Vast lands become purified, and so do the inhabitants. People around you, as you go out into the world, naturally and mostly, unconsciously entrain towards your organized, coherent field. The heart becomes an organ of creation, of healing, of deep and powerful magic. This may feel hard to contain. Breathe and relax. While we finish the final stages of our dragon blood magic purification. And I'm trying to translate here, but there's no way to describe in the English language this part of the process. So we'll just sit and receive and allow. And that's due to its non-dual nature. They're presenting something now while they're finishing this stage, final stage, which is the most elevated and non-dual stage of the process. They're presenting a number of what appear to be jewels, condensed energetic structures with advanced mathematics. Each one is very different, very, very different. And they're saying, this is for all of us. And everyone following that will come and join this practice. And what this is the key. The key that fits each one of our own individual hearts, which is different for every single person, like kind of like a fingerprint or DNA. They have one for each of us. And moving it into our heart center, into that central fifth space, that's heart of hearts. And they're saying that this is the key to awaken in your own DNA your dragon form. This is the birth. This is the reawakening of your own dragon form, where you can access us and access all of the qualities that we have cultivated and refined for eons and eons of time. When you need protection, tune into the vibrational frequency of our scales. When you need fire to create and sculpt and mold reality, tune into our breath and the pulses emanating from our hearts. When you need deep healing, tune into our feet and our guts. When you're confused and lost and stuck, tune into our eyes, for they see not like yours. We love you all with total, eternal, ever expanding love and compassion. We close this practice and we bid you farewell. Taking a step back. We exit the cave. Making our way back down, which seems to happen almost in an instant as we were sort of in a place where time and space bends. We're making our way back down, integrating and consolidating. Stepping down almost with the rhythm and pulse in the heart center.